Hey, good morning. Josh Whitfield, Content Marketing Media. So I wanted to dive in today on a little bit of more coding stuff. So over the last couple of weeks, we've really been paying attention to things like Model Context Protocol, tools like Cursor, and all the tools that are being released, by OpenAI and Claude for coding. Because look, when you're running a business, efficiency matters, and we build a lot of clay tables. We send out a lot of leads for a lot of different clients, and so we run, I would say, somewhere near a million rows a month through Clay, and all of those at some point become validated emails. And so we really needed to improve our process of verifying emails, and we use two tools: Million Verifier and Bounce Band. And so yesterday and Saturday, we spent a lot of time just kind of diving into how do we make that process better. And so, because of things like OpenAI, because of things like Cursor, we were able to build an Apify actor that takes our data from whatever lead source we get and then runs it through an actor that verifies those emails conditionally. In other words, if the million verifier output is equal to OK, and if it's not, if it's equal to catch all, then it passes it to bounce band, and then bounce band then returns those valid catch-alls. So that's important if you're doing a lot of email outbound because number one, million verifier and bounce band for us have been, a godsend. They keep our bounce rate well below 0.5%. And they're very cost effective to run at scale. And I just don't see a combination or a pattern that gives me better coverage from getting me the most validated emails all the way to allowing us to reach out to people that normally aren't reached out to because they have catch-alls, and a lot of outbound approaches just ignore catch-alls, which I think is a mistake if you have a good tool like Bounce Band. So, look, this is not a promo for them. Um, Today we were doing that, or previously we were doing that in clay tables, row by row, column by column. And so, if you imagine having a clay table with 50,000 leads, that was a couple 100,000 executions to make that happen. And so we thought it would be critical to put that into a process and build that into an actor. And so I kind of want to show you how we did that. And so the cool thing is we use Cursor, and Cursor allowed us to kind of vibe code our way into that. And when you're building actors for yourself, you can come into development here and you can develop a new actor. And then there's probably a lot of different ways to do this. I know how to do it with JavaScript. So you hit start with JavaScript and use a template, and then you're giving kind of a basic template here, and you do this a couple times. You kind of figure out that the important files here are your actor JSON file, your Docker file, your main JS, which is your primary file. You probably want to update your README so you know what your actor is doing, and then your package JSON. So this is just showing you how to create one. You can copy as well. This is the one we built, so I'm going to click into it. And if you look over here on the left side of the screen, I'm actually building a new one where we're gonna run the same process, except this will allow us to get data from Outscraper versus other sources. And so back to the right here, we use Cursor, and we just talked our way through Cursor. Cursor is like a coding tool that you can use, but you can also talk with it, much like OpenAI. Today I'm using OpenAI because I'm taking this file here from the actor that we built yesterday and updating it to now pull Outscraper. And Outscraper is important because it's local leads, right? So imagine the end of this will be today that now we'll be able to programmatically or via API call Outscraper, get the exact type of search we want to do. And so I'll give you an example here. This is Outscraper, the Google Maps scraper. We can come in and type in the categories of what we want: doctors, restaurants, locations, number of results, and we're building in even the email and contact enhancer, right? So if you pull local leads, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can do it through Serper, you can do it through a wide variety of tools, but we're taking one way that we know works through Outscraper, and we're building that into Million Verifier and Bounce Band verification. So ultimately, when we start our clay tables going forward, we're going to have verified list. And that's what we accomplished yesterday with this one as well. And so we have verified list now, and I'm going to show you an example. So we'll look at some of these runs here. And if you click into this run, what you can see here is that I put in a list. I think it was like a couple hundred people, 400 or 500. And you can see the verification of the emails going through and in the code itself, right? So what's really cool is it's saying like, look, the result is okay, so the lead is verified, and then there's some examples here where it's not valid, so it's skipped, right? Programmatically, we've told this like, look, if it comes back, and you can see right here, this is the case that if it comes back a catch-all, then push it to bounce man. And in this case, it did, and the bounce man came back deliverable. So it caught all of these leads. And so we were able to basically prompt our way into getting it to understand the logic that we want, right? The logic is if the email verifies okay through million verifier, then keep it. If it does, if it comes back as catch all, push it to bounce ban. If bounce ban comes back as okay or verified, then keep it, right? That's complex logic. But building that into an actor that now I don't have to run, my team and I do not have to run those through clay tables. It's pretty significant. It's going to save us a lot of time. And so back to kind of the point here, right, is so we're able to drop a lead list into the runs, and I can show you the actor here, and we're able to just and I built this actor, I documented it. We go in and able to really run it anytime we want, put in the input of the URL we want to search, and then it's going to go in and pull those leads, and then it's going to give us only verified emails, right? So as I go into Clay now, let me pull up Clay here. That's the right one. So I go into Clay and I'm able then with Apify Actor, I can go actions, import, and type in Apify here. And I can import that data via Apify Actor. So this is what I did. I have every row. You can see we have the million verifier result, and the logic is exactly how I described, which if it's okay, it comes back verified. If it's catch-all, it comes back deliverable. And I have all those leads. And you're probably thinking like, Josh, look, you just have this data. No, I don't. I just haven't shown you in the table, right? So now I have full name, I have job title, you know, industry. I've already added million verified results, last name, first name, right? LinkedIn URL, right? And so just like that, and I can add any other columns I want, right? But you can see I have a full validated list of 249 emails, okay? So that's not a lot, right? But if you come back and you think about this process, what it took to get here, right? How long did it take? It took me 5 minutes. Now, 5 minutes to pull this list, execute it, verify it, etc. So all of that also cost me 83 cents, right? So there is the power. When you start to think about doing this at scale for multiple companies, speed and cost matter. Speed and cost drive efficiency. So now our clay tables are going to be that much more efficient, and these numbers will multiply exponentially, where my team doesn't have to waste time pulling leads that aren't validated, that haven't gone through verification, because if they don't pass verification, we're not going to send to them anyway, right? So by building this actor, we have now just increased our efficiency, reduced our costs. My team can now spend time on building more curated lead lists instead of boring stuff like email verification and running and executing multiple rows in clay when we can do all that, you know, through vibe coding. So just to kind of tie that off, so we built this actor, and then now we're thinking, okay, let's do this for other sources besides, in this case, Apollo, right? So what we're doing is I uploaded the code here, and I told it what I wanted to do. And GPT is really smart. It tells me like, hey, this is what you need to change. This is what you need to do. And it's giving me these codes and these source files so I know what to change, right? So if I scroll through here, you can see it's giving me the main JS file, right? And so with this main JS file, now I can come in, I can actually just copy this actor because they're pretty similar. But all I need to do is come in to this actor that I created and update these files. So I can copy this file